Shalom, shalom. Before we like to start this lesson, I'd like to give all honor, all praise, all glory to our power, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Kakadash. Shout out to the elder apostles, and elder bishops that rule. Shout out to the fellow Akim who labor on the apostle doctrine, and to the men, women, and children that sincerely believe to you, us, Shalom. So this is going to be a quick one through the spirit. Lord willing, it's edifying. And, you know, I was watching this movie called Watchmen. It's an old movie. But basically in the movie, I'm going to title this lesson, "It's going to be you," because a lot of you 2/3 and people in the world don't understand what's really going on. And you don't understand that we in a time of judgment. So I was a scene that I was watching in this movie with a dude, right? One of the main characters, right? That's part of the group called the Watchmen. He was crying. So he met up with one of his old buddies from the group, and the buddy that he met up with is retired. And in the scene, he's basically confiding with his teammate, you know, his former teammate, crying, and the tears that he was showing, you know, it just remind me of what's gonna befall you 2/3 and like you 2/3. And you heathens out there, because y'all gonna get caught off guard, right? Y'all gonna really get caught off guard. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, "But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you." So we know the times we know we in the time of judgment. We know that we in the end of Esau Edom rulership. We know that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is coming back. It's like Yahushua is Yahweh's going to send his son Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ, right? When his true name is Yahushua, he's going to come back and deliver the elect from the four winds of the earth, right? So we know what times that we in, man. Perilous times, serious times. Verse 2, it says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, so cometh as a thief in the night." So it means that when the Lord come back, he going to catch people off guard, because they're not watching. They're not expecting him to come back. Okay? You got a lot of people that's why the scripture is saying, Isaiah the 60th chapter, in the second verse, we'll see paraphrasing, "Gross darkness to people," meaning people are they're not spiritual, they're very carnal, and they ignorant to what's written in the scriptures, man. Very ignorant. So you're gonna have a lot of people in the world expecting Cesare Borgia, so-called white man with blonde eyes, blue hair, and straight blue eyes, blonde straight hair, and a so-called Caucasian looking complexion, or white complexion, you know, cracking the skies, man, and that's far from the truth. All right, you know, the elder made a good point at camp. You know, the elder Bar, you know, that whole Jesus Christ is a myth, and it just keeps you in slumber, man. It keeps you docile, and it takes you away from the fear of the Lord, because when you hear JC, you don't want to fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, you know. But when you hear Yahushua, that name strikes fear. All right. So again, it's that whole JC is just to put you people in a deep sleep. That's why Romans 13 and 11, it said, "It's for it's high time to wake God to sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believe." Lucy paraphrasing, right? And you know what I was speaking about, Bar, the elder Salakia Bar. You know, it wasn't what I said, you know, what I quoted from him wasn't word for word that he said at the camp, but it was basically making the point that it was holding on to the point that the elder was making, was that holding on to JC is keeping you ninjas docile, man. It just keep people docile in a very a weak state, you know, weak and docile. Feeble and docile, right? Verse 3, It says, for when they shall say peace and safety. So you got a lot of people right now, they're very complacent, man. In their mind, everything is peace, right? In their mind is peace. And they feel safe, man. They don't feel like nothing. They don't feel like none of these apocalyptic events that you watch in the movies can happen. You know, like what's that that Amazon series, Fallout, or Homestead, or Civil War. You know, they don't feel like these type of events could ever happen, but they really are. You know, those are not just movies. Those are actual. You know, we're coming in no type of time where it's gonna be survival of the fittest. And in society, and this society is gonna implode on itself, and it's gonna be a civil war, right? An all-out war of people, man. Okay, so right now they seeing peace and safety because they don't see, right, the bodies dropping. They don't see the blood in the street. They don't see the famine, right? Yet they don't see, and I say yet because it's coming very soon. You know, it's coming very soon, but they don't see this stuff yet, and they think that it's not gonna happen because they don't see it. Remember, these people are carnal. They don't have faith. So, the prophet's been, longer than I have. I only been in this thing for about 4 years, Lord willing, 3.5, going into 4. And the prophet's been out way longer than me, and they've been warning, about this sudden destruction that we're going to read about, and the 2/3 is not going to take heed, man. The 2/3 is not going to take heed, and they're going to follow along with the heathens and just completely ignore the warnings that's going out. But when the famine of the word hits, which is coming, man, it's coming because soon it's going to be outlawed to read your Bible out loud, to wear fringes, right? To assemble in a group, to preach the Bible, man, to have a Bible in your hand. I believe that, I'm speaking as a man, but I really believe that in this Trump administration, he's going to outlaw the Bible, man. He's going to outlaw doing camp. He's going to outlaw basically being an Israelite, preaching, the street ministry. He's going to ban it. And in turn, that's going to create what? That's going to fulfill Amos 8:11 and 12, where it talks about the famine of hearing the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Right? It's going to be fulfilled because once you can't go out, that's it. We still going to maintain our faith. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't going to. This word going to be shut off from the ears of the people. And when, like I said, when shit hits the fan and things get worse and worse and worse, and it ain't no comfort, people going to want comfort and answers, man. And they going to be looking for the word, but the word ain't going to be there. They going to be begging for the Hebrew Israelites. Like, where them brothers that was preaching? Where they was at? Yo, they was talking about everything that we going through. Where they at? Ain't going to be found. Because at that time, it'll be famine of hearing the word, man. So verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So the Lord is describing this destruction as like a woman giving labor, meaning that it's all going to come at once, man. And it's not going to be, these people are going to be like a woman. Basically, the scripture is laying out that these people are going to be like a woman, that's in labor. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna the judgment, the destruction that's gonna befall is gonna hit them all at once, and it is nothing that they're gonna be able to do about it. They're not gonna escape. When them thermonuclear missiles go off, when World War III pops off and it becomes that nuclear holocaust and the missiles is fired off, and the people start seeing the missiles, the ICBM with the warheads inside flying through the sky, man, I'm telling you, especially in Babylon the Great, aka America, then they're gonna realize that they doomed, At that moment, they face is gonna sink. All hope is gonna be lost for them. The only ones that's gonna make it out is the elect of the nation of Israel, man. The elect. Everybody else, because remember the scriptures say in 1 Peter 4 and in 18 that the righteous shall scarcely be saved. Scarcely. So if they're scarcely gonna be saved, then like it says in the verse, what's the end? What will be the end of this of these sinners out here? What's going to be the end of these heathens in 2/3? Destruction, right? This is 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 18. It says, "And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?" Right? So the Lord is right. The scriptures is laying the point that if the righteous, like it for the background noise, but if the scriptures is laying out that if the righteous, right, the men, the elect is gonna barely make it out, right, barely escape the thermonuclear destruction, barely escape, then the sinners, the heathens in the 2/3 don't have a chance, man. They don't have a chance. All right. Let you know that the 2/3 and the heathen's fate is sealed, man. It's sealed. It's going to that word scarcely.
Strong's G 3433 Malis.
So this is Strong's G 3433 Malis, right? Which in the Greek is malis for scarcely, right? Which means with difficulty, hardly, scarcely, with much work, man. That's why in Acts 14, and this strong definition backs up Acts 4:22, which says, "Through much tribulation we shall enter into the kingdom," man. So that means that we had to do we had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations before we entered, for the elect to receive salvation. There was a lot of trials and tribulations along the way, so it's not going to be a cakewalk where you had to you got an easy road and then boom, you're going to receive salvation and that's it. Nah. It don't work like that. The elect got to go through tests and trials and tribulations, and then they'll receive salvation. Right? But yeah, the outline of biblical usage, it says, with difficulty, hardly, not easily, scarcely, very rarely, man. So by the skin of their teeth, man, it might be where the missiles coming, and just before they hit, the elect get beamed up in the twinkling of an eye, man. I'm telling you, just before the missile hit. And they're going to be scared out their mind because remember, they still men and women. So they thought in their mind that it was over for them. But in that moment, when they get beamed up in a twinkling of an eye, they're going to know at that moment that they are the elect. Salakia. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Salakia, I'm back. So, again, I read it again, Strong's definition, malis, which means what? Probably by variation for G3425, with difficulty, hardly, scarcely, with much work, man. So again, by the skin of their teeth. Okay, just before the missiles hit land, right? The elect gonna get beamed up in the twinkling of an eye. And the elect is going to be terrified, man. And that's why the praise and the respect that Yahweh Shema Shah is going to get in that day is going to be on a whole nother level, man. Because the elect is already praising and acknowledging and respecting the Lord and serving him, right? But the praise that he going to get in that day, when the elect is beamed up from sudden destruction, and they seeing the missile hitting, and they seeing their surroundings, and they being circumstanced, and they watching everything, and they seeing buildings exploding, everything melting, and people screaming, and they seeing like just everything is just look like it's on fire. And just before the missile hit, man, the Lord just beamed them up like that in the twinkling of an eye, you know. And the praise that Yahweh Shema Shah gonna get, you know, it's gonna be on a totally different level. You know what I'm saying? Call like how Shema Shah Bashem Kakadash, man. So again, if the elect, right, if the righteous scarcely be saved, again, this is 1 Peter 4:18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear, man? What's their chances of getting out of the lake of fire, which is ICBM nuclear missiles? That's the lake of fire. ICBM nuclear missiles burning the land, okay, and reducing this land mass, which is Babylon the Great, America, to ashes. All right. That's the second death. That's the lake of fire. Not no place in hell where you die, you go to afterlife, and then you burn forever. No, that place don't exist. All right. The lake of fire that the scriptures speak about is talking about the ICBM nuclear destruction that's gonna happen during World War III, because it's gonna get nuclear. Right. You're gonna have all these different nations fighting against each other, and eventually those with ICBM nuclear weapons, they're gonna start pushing the button and firing them ICBM nuclear missiles at each other, hence creating the lake of fire. Hence, like, literally everything is gonna be engulfed in fire in Babylon, you know. And wherever them other and the missiles are gonna hit other countries too, and whatever land and town that they hit, man, they're gonna do serious damage. They're gonna be turning towns and cities into wastelands, man, into goddamn into radioactive zones. I forgot, it was this place, I think in Ukraine or Russia, where it's like a ghost town, like it's like a radioactive zone, meaning no one can live there because the radiation levels are so high that no one ain't gonna be able to live there, man. And that could be, right, again, I speak as a man, but the scripture do talk about, you know, great destruction that these ICBM missiles gonna hit, you know. And you know, the radiation, you know, I'm, like I said about the radiation, I'm just speaking as a man, but that radiation that's gonna come from the missiles is gonna make those places where they hit unlivable. You know, you won't be able to live in those towns and cities anymore because the radiation is too high that if you stay there long enough, you're going perish, man. Right? So again, I just want to show that the Lord spoke about destroying, rendering America to ashes. All right. So this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, meaning this is, right, the greatest kingdom on the earth, right? And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. Okay. The glory of kingdoms, right? So this is the best kingdom. And what is this? And what is this Babylon speaking about? It's speaking about America, okay? Which is the daughter of Babylon, all right? Speaking about America, because America is the glory of kingdoms. America, everybody wants to be a part of the American dream and live in America, right? They're enticed by what they perceive as freedoms, as the freedoms that you get in America and the opportunities that you can get in America. Like this is their perception, because the reality is far than what they think. But when they think about America, right, they think about the opportunities. Talking about you know, foreigners, people that live outside of America, right? They think about the some of them are, you know, still hold on to that American dream. Some don't, but you know, it just has a general notion that when people think about America, they think about, you know, the freedoms that you get here, the opportunities you get to make money, that get education, medical care. They think about all these opportunities, and they think about, you know, what you know what a life, right? They think about this American dream, which is bullshit, but they thinking about this American dream, and they believe in it, and they want to be a part of it, you know. But there's a saying that says, you know, for you to believe a dream, you must be asleep. You know, that's why it's called a dream, because you gotta be asleep to believe it. You see what I'm saying? So those people, they're lost, they ignorant. They don't really understand that the whole American dream is nothing but a sham, man. And for some, right, they don't learn until after they come into Babylon and they live here for a certain period of time. Then they start to realize, oh shit, all the things, all these general notions that I thought about Babylon the Great America, Slovakia, that I thought about Babylon the Great America was lies, man. You know, and some of them wake up to that, others, majority still sleep. But hey, this is the glory of kingdoms, because everybody wants to be, you know, want to be a part of America. You know, people want to come into this place, right? So it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, man, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Right, when you go into the strong definition, they give you some information about the Chaldeans. Right, but they were the elites, man. Because what does it say? But yeah, those are the elites, the Chaldeans. Those were like the sorcerers, the higher echelons, all right? And those were the elites of the ancient Babylonian society. So in modern Babylon, which is aka America, the daughter of Babylon, you know, you're gonna have the Chaldeans today, the elites of today, which are so-called, you know, Illuminati and secret societies, man. Those will be the Chaldeans, man. The elites. Okay, so it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdom, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when Yahweh Shema Shah overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, man. So, you know, this place, they use this place to push a lot of witchcraft and evil on the earth, man. You know, a lot of witchcraft and a lot of evil comes through Babylon. They use they use the resources of Babylon to do a lot of wickedness and evil on the planet, man. So now the Lord is basically gonna give this place, Babylon the Great, aka America, the same judgment that he gave ancient Sodom and Gomorrah and those neighboring cities, man. Which is what? To burn them to ashes. So America is gonna be burnt to ashes, man. Let he who have an ear, let him hear. So it says, verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, right? So it's gonna be unlivable. Okay, because you won't be able to live there, man. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, right? Because it's gonna be unlivable, unbearable to live in. All right, it's gonna be ashes. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna. You're not gonna be able to sustain life, human life, in Babylon the Great once it falls, man. Once the Lord render it to ashes. All right, after the Lord pass, you know, pour his wrath down on this place, man, it's gonna be unrecognizable and unlivable, man. People won't be able to live in Babylon the Great after the Lord pour his judgment on this place, man. It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, his full judgment, because the Lord is pouring it out, but it's not the whole cup yet, man. Because the whole cup would be what? Total annihilation of this place. right? So it says it will it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Okay, unlivable. Right, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, man. So these are animals or creatures that can live in very harsh environments. Okay, that's why they're gonna be living in there, because it won't, because they can survive in that type of environment. Okay, I just want to look at that word doleful real quick. So jackals and hyenas, that's what it means, doleful. Jackals and hyenas, man. So yeah, a male goat, a he goat, a male goat. All right. So again, these are gonna be the animals living in that place because they can survive that environment. All right. It says, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolation, and dragons in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Okay. So Babylon the Great is gonna be destroyed, man. All right, so like I said, ain't no hope, man. There ain't no hope, man. The days are not of Babylon the Great is not gonna be prolonged, man. It's not gonna be prolonged, and this place is gonna be destroyed. So I want to go into Proverbs, the first chapter. And I want to get to the point where in this video, okay? It says, when your fear, it's Proverbs chapter 1, verse 27. It says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So the early in this verse is going to be too late. So you're going to be seeking the Lord because of all that distress and anguish that you're going through, right? Because of the destruction that sudden destruction that we read in First Thessalonians the 5th chapter, right? When shit hits the fan and they run out of medicine in the pharmacy, and they running out of food in the supermarkets, and they starting to run out of clothes in department stores, right? And the trucking industry is shut down, and there's no more police to uphold order, man. So shit is gonna hit the fan, all right. And in that day, people are gonna lose their minds. They're gonna fall and not know what to do. Okay, they're not gonna know what to do, and there's gonna be mass death, man. A lot of people gonna die because, right? I think China been poking at the fact that they able to shut down the American power grid, but they did say that that they had the power to do so for sure. So they able to hack and shut down the power grid. So if that happened, I don't know, it could be China. Excuse me, it could be China, Russia, or one of them. It could be China, Russia, one of them. But you have America's enemies, right? that that's able to hack this place and shut down the power grid. And when that happens, a lot of people just gonna be deleted because it's thousands of people that's in hospitals that depend on life support. So just for them shutting off the power, that's going to be a lot of souls gone in that alone. And then as the time goes on, after the power outage, it's going to be even more, because then what happens? Your refrigerators run off electricity. So boom, your food going to start to spoil. Then gas, right? You need electricity for what? For gas and probably gas. I'm not sure, but you're going to need it for other things, man. You're going to need it to keep your lights on. You're going to need it for your water. Okay? You're going to need it for other stuff. So once they shut that down, man, they're going to throw that power grid. They're going to throw America back to the Stone Ages, man. Back to the 1800s. Okay. No more comfort of modern society. That's going to be done away with once that power outage go down. All right. So the Lord is saying, look, man, the Lord not going to answer you in that day when shit hits the fan, when all hell is breaking loose. He not going to answer you because why? Right? He's going to tell you in verse 29, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. They were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. So you hated his word. You hated the prophet, and you hated the message that the prophets was pushing and the warnings that they was giving you. So for this reason, the Lord going to basically leave you to your own devices, man. He tell you this in verse 31. It says, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. So when pandemonium breaks out and shit is all hell is breaking loose and society, people losing their minds out here and just straight chaos and disorder, you're going to be on your own. The Lord not providing, not going to be able to, it's not going to slack it. He not going to provide or protect you wicked people out here because you didn't fear him, right? So you 2/3, man. Forget the heathens, right? But for you 2/3, you so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans, y'all didn't, the majority of y'all didn't fear Yahweh Shema Shah and Israelite foreigners, man. Y'all didn't fear Yahweh Shema Shah. Y'all didn't honor him. Y'all didn't respect him. Right? Y'all disrespected the word. Y'all disrespected his men. Right? Y'all scoffed. Y'all ignored the warnings. So now when the things that the Lord said was going to come to pass actually do come to pass, not only you going to recognize that there was a prophet amongst you, but then you're going to see that the men of the Lord, you're going to see that the men of the Lord was right all along, and you're going to be crying for the Lord for help. Crying for the Lord because your children are hungry. Crying to the Lord because your siblings or whoever needs certain type of prescriptions and medicines are sick and they don't have it in the pharmacies anymore. Because the pharmacies, they're gonna get ransacked just like every other store, man, in business. It's gonna get ransacked, bro. Because the trucking industry is gonna start shut down, right? And there won't be any more supplies coming into these cities, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be just like in the movies, where the trucking industry, right, is gonna shut down. No supplies coming into these major cities, and people is gonna starve out here, and they're gonna go crazy. We coming into these type of times, all right. So again, when all hell is breaking loose, right, when there ain't no food, water shut off. People hungry, right? Pharmacies is ransacked for all the prescriptions and important life, support medicines and stuff like that, man. People gonna lose their mind. I'm telling you, they're gonna go crazy. Also, the suicide rate is gonna go up because it's already high now, and this is the calm before the storm. We ain't even entered into Jacob trouble yet. So imagine Jacob trouble. It's gonna be 10 times worse. I'm telling you, people gonna off themselves because they're not gonna be able to handle that level of intensity that's about to come, man. Americans got it soft over here, man. America's about to be a first world country, and they got it soft over here, man. You know, they ain't never been in no active war zone with people shooting AR-15s and throwing bombs and military tanks coming through and just dropping shells on and blowing up buildings. We ain't never been through that, man. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, America had its, horror stories, but it ain't nothing compared to what they going through in the Middle East, man, and in third world countries, man. You know what I'm saying? Starving and, and lack of medical care on a grand scale. Like, you ain't never been through that, man. We had it easy, man. So now these same issues that's hitting Haiti and Africa and all these other third world countries is coming to America, man. And y'all ain't, because y'all soft, y'all ain't built for it, man. There's a saying that says good times create weak men. And because y'all lived in peace and safety, as the scriptures say, they shall say, they dwell in peace and safety. You see? So because y'all been living in such good times, y'all not gonna know what to do when that sudden destruction come upon you, right? When the desolation, as we're reading Proverbs, the 1st chapter, and destruction come upon you, you ain't gonna know what to do. You ain't gonna know what to do. You're gonna lose, for the majority of those that don't have this word, that don't have this truth now, they're gonna lose their mind. I'm telling you, they're gonna lose their mind. It says in Isaiah 33:6, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. And the fear of the Lord is a treasure. Loosely paraphrasing. Yeah, so again, you individuals that say peace and safety, because you still able to go to the store and buy your Coronas and Heinekens, and cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? And get you something to eat, get you a condom, whatever the case may be, a Lucy, a cigarette or some tobacco papers to roll up your marijuana or even marijuana itself, and you think everything is sweet, but it's not, man. It's not, man. You people, you Americans, man, you people in the world, y'all gonna have a rude awakening coming. Very rude awakening. So this is gonna be y'all, man. I was just thinking about this scene right here. In The Watchmen, as you see, I ain't gonna play it, but the dude was basically crying, and he was crying because, I like I said, I ain't finished the scene, but the dude was crying, and his tears just sparked this lesson, man. Cause I'm like, damn, that's how these people gonna be when all hell is breaking loose, man. They're just gonna be crying, right, bawling their face out, cause they ain't gonna know what to do, just straight crying. Crying, man, bawling their face out. Bawling their face out. So again, Lord willing, I hope this was an edifying lesson to all those that listen. And with that, we give all honor, all praise, all glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahshua, B'Hashem Kadash. Till next time, I say shalom to the whole elect. Shalom.